Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flying Over 50 at Any Age. I'm Cyrus Webb with my co host, Makeda Smith, the author of the best selling book you guys can see there. Glad you guys could be able to join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. And go ahead and bring in over our friends over there on Instagram. They're joining us now, and we're going to connect with our friends over there on Amazon so we can get into, believe it or not, week number 4 of
Week
our
number
series
4.
that we're doing. For you guys joining us on Amazon, welcome to Flying Over 50 at Any Age, based on the book by my co-host, best-selling author Makeda Smith. You guys can see the book there. We're glad you all could join us. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it either here in this corner or down below. You also see Makeda's book. You can get the print edition as I have it for $9.99 or the Kindle edition. You can get it right now also for $5.99. We're going to highlight for you guys. Makeda, how you doing?
I'm fine today, Cyrus. How are you? Hello and blessings to the audience. Hey, everybody.
I appreciate that. I'm doing great, Makeda. Excited about today's message. Now, Makeda, before we Blackmail Productions, hello to you over there on IG. Glad you could be able to join us. Feel free if you guys have any thoughts about our topic for today. And for those who are brand new, Makeda, I'm just going to quickly kind of catch them up.
Okay.
So this is Makeda's book, Flying Over 50 at Any Age, a 30-day self-journal for speeding past limitations. And what we're able to see in this book is she has given us 30 days worth of reflections of her own experiences in life, but also some great lessons for all of us. So Makeda and I came together and we developed this 30-week series that we're going through here on Amazon, but we're simulcasting it on social because I really believe these messages are important for all of us. And Makeda, today we're going into day number 4.
Day
I
number
dreamed a
4.
car, and you're going to do the pleasure of reading for us.
Yes, I am. Day number 4 from Flying Over 50 at Any Age. Day number 4 is entitled, do I have lipstick on my teeth, Cyrus?
Oh, I can't. I know. Just look.
There we go. Y'all know I got to keep it real. Okay,
Oh,
day number 4 is I Dreamed a Car. I was in my mid-20s working in Hollywood as an assistant publicist. The office was on the far west end of Sunset Boulevard, a very elite area in entertainment circles. The boyfriend who had jump started my career by suggesting the internship was long gone, so I no longer had a ride to work and was catching the bus. Not just one bus, but several buses to get from my neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley to the far end of Sunset Boulevard. I used to sit on the bus stop after work and watch the most fabulous vehicles pass me by: drop top convertibles, Mercedes Benzes, BMWs, Porsches, etc. Boy, did I feel poor. It was on that bus stop that I honed my visioning skills. I would watch those cars like I was watching television and dream me a car. Sounds crazy, but the mind is a powerful tool. A few months later, my dad called me out the blue to tell me he was leasing me a new car to drive to work. The lease was for a year, and after that, I was on my own to secure another car. But hey, I was on my way. Hollywood, here I come. What are you visioning? Are you dreaming gloom and doom, or are you dreaming brilliance and light? Reflect on the situation where you harness the superpower of your thinking to manifest something you really wanted. Our manifestations, whether big or small, are not to be taken for granted. Make note of them. They are feathers on your wings for higher lifting.
oh, wow. Love that. That is so powerful. Makeda, I have to ask you to begin. Hello to you, Wendy. Good to be able to see you. What was it like for you to read those words out loud?
You know what? It took me back to when I can literally remember sitting on the bus stop on Sunset Boulevard and watching the traffic go past and knowing I had three more buses to catch.
You know, I have to say for myself, and Makeda and I have not talked about this, y'all. We have not discussed this, but I was reading that, Makeda, and you know what I thought about? Two things. One, the theme of movement that's in this book.
The theme of movement.
Well, you think about the movement from making the decision to leave an abusive situation to
Oh.
protect your child. The theme of being able to go forward to pursue your dreams. Everything's about moving forward. And I love the connection to flying that you kind of share with each thing. Even with the buses, you didn't allow the fact you didn't have your own to stop you. So many times we allow, I feel like, when we say we can't do it because I don't have this, we just stop. What helped you to even be able just to take the bus?
Well, I mean, I was working my first or my second publicity job. I think that was on my second job in publicity. And I really loved my work. I was actually at that time pretty devastated because I had broke up with my boyfriend and I was on the bus. But I don't know. I just knew I just had to keep going. I knew I couldn't stop. And then in the back of my head, I knew that I had to do whatever it takes to pursue my career because my ultimate goal was to bring my daughter back to California. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We just had to keep it hustling.
Yeah. And see, I think that is such a big thing, though, as a reader, again, in reading those words, because, again, we've heard that saying, right? If you don't want to do something, you'll find an excuse. But if you want to do something, you'll find a way. And
Yeah.
it showed that even though you didn't have your own, even though something that you had been used to with the boyfriend was not there, you still were finding a way. Did you see the lesson in that part of the story when you first were writing this?
Um, that's interesting that you make that correlation because I think when I was writing it, what what stuck with me was really the visioning process.
Gotcha.
Because at the time, I don't think I realized the art of visioning, but
Hmm.
later in life, as I did more, studying and more pursuing metaphysical information, I learned about the art of visioning. And I realized that in that moment or in those moments or at that bus stop, I was literally visioning me being in a car. And
Hmm.
I didn't realize I was visioning at the time. But the proof of the fact was that a few months later, literally, my father called me out the blue and said he was leasing me a car. That was literally out of the blue. It was unexpected. It was very serendipitous. And I realize now that it's because I visioned it and on the path I've been on and on the path I want people to understand is that your mind is really a powerful tool.
Yeah.
So where you put your focus is what you're going to manifest. So if you're constantly focusing on negative things, you're going to manifest negative things.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. And that to me, when I thought about the car part, which I mean is to me, there's so much even in that, Makita. And one thing is you're feeling worthy of it, going back to work,
Mm,
because you looking at these others and saying, you know what, I deserve to have that. A lot of
that's
people, a
interesting.
lot of
Yeah.
people, struggle with that part of what they feel worthy of, right? And I thought for myself reading that when I first saw the title of this particular day and getting to the story to that part of the story, because I first was stuck on the bus part, the movement part, you keeping it moving, like you were saying, right?
Hmm.
But then also realizing I deserve to have this. I deserve to have my own. You know, that in itself is such a big thing. Do you think that mentality, and it goes to what you were just saying, do you think that mentality of knowing I'm worthy of this is one of the things that's also kind of helped you to soar?
I think it's very interesting because like even even at this advanced age, I still study every day and I still feed myself with positive information and reading positive books and listening to positive podcasts. And a podcast I was listening to this morning, the gentleman was talking about how we were born to be happy and we deserve
Mm,
to be happy and we deserve the best.
yeah.
And that's really a mindset you have to have.
Hmm.
And I think inherently having that mindset back in my 20s, even though it probably wasn't a tangible thing, but it was a seed and it was planted there. I think that mindset is so important for us manifesting the things we want to manifest, because if we think we don't deserve them, then then we're not going to manifest them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the wording. And even when you read it, I thought it was interesting. I want to read something that you said in this because again, going back to your dad and the call. You said a few months later, my dad called me out of the blue to tell me he was leasing me a new car to drive to work. The lease was for a year, and after that, I was on my own to secure another car. But hey, I was on my way. What I thought about with that in this whole idea and the imagery of flying, Makeda, is that it's not like we want someone to carry us, right?
Mm,
But to that little help, just like the parent birds,
I was
you know,
just going to think of that.
gives that child that help, but then they're on their own.
Yes.
I do to go. What was that like for you to think about that? That was just another layer, of your getting that just that push, that wind underneath your wings to soar.
It was it was really, at that time, it was really an incredible boost. It was my first car,
Hmm.
and to be able to literally drive myself to work in the mornings and drive home in the evenings, I it expanded my horizons to the nth degree, because when you're on the bus, you have to literally go pretty much where the bus is taking you, or you're on that route. But when you have your car, you can venture out into different places. You can stay at work later. It just broadened my horizons. And it was like, oh, what's the wording I want to use? It was really like a divine push, letting me know I was headed in the right direction and I was doing the right things and I was on my path. It was
Yeah.
like being supported by the universe.
Yeah. I love that. Jesus Black Man says true over there on Instagram. Hello to you, Jesus Black Man. Good to see you. Piggy Bella, hello to you. I think it's pronounced Karma. Hello to you over there on IG as well. It's KRBN07. Hello to you as well. For those who are just tuning in, you all are watching Flying Over 50 at Any Age with my co-host, Makeda Smith, the author of the bestseller, Flying Over 50 at Any Age. You guys can see here. We're talking about day number 4 in her book. This is week 4 of our series that we're doing here on Amazon Live, but we're talking about the topic that is powerful. I dreamed a car. Makeda, we were talking about this photo too. I'm going to pull it back up for
Oh,
them.
okay.
Talk to us about this photo for you, because I think for a lot of people, as they're kind of thinking about the questions that you ask, what are you visioning? What are you dreaming? Gloom and doom, or are you dreaming brilliance and light? How does this picture tie into this for you?
You know why I love this photo? First of all, that's a yoga pose. And to me, it's such a magical pose, because it looks like, for me, it's a pose that looks like I'm manifesting or I'm pulling something from the universe. But I also love that pose. I also love that picture, because that's my old apartment, and that space was a wonderful manifestation, and that space is so expansive and it's filled with so much light, and it's indicative of how expansive we are and how much light we are filled with.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to the visioning process, and how where we put our energy and what we think about, and how thoughts become things. And I don't know, I guess the bottom line is that we hear it again and again, and I'm not the first person to say this, and I won't be the last person to say this, but we are really more powerful than we know.
Yeah.
But it really is a job to keep creating, to keep reminding ourselves of how powerful we are, because the world around us will tell us different. And it's so easy to feed into the negativity around us and have that negativity seep into our spirits. So flying is flying means so many different things. And I think in this instance, it means you have to fly above what looks like reality
Mhm.
and create your own reality.
Yeah. There was something beautiful in what you said, and you would know more about this, Makeda, than I would. But I felt like when I was reading the questions that when you were asking the reader,
Hmm.
about themselves, I thought about something really interesting. Now, and that is thinking about going back to the birds. This is why I used that earlier. We know when we look at a bird, their feathers are not all the same
Hmm.
length. Their wings, may have different dimensions on them. I bring that up because as you talked about manifesting, you said big or small. And I think sometimes we overlook the importance of the small things,
Mm.
like the taxi, like, being shown, something for an internship, right? And we miss out on that because it's not the big thing that we wanted. You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? And so I think, it's just a reminder from me as a reader that to be thankful for all those little things. 'Cause as you said, they're helping us on our way. All those little things help us on our way.
That's so true. That was like the writing the book helped me recall all of the little things that I may have overlooked over the years or overlooked in the moment. For
Mhm.
instance, like I really have that memory of sitting at the bus stop and just watching the cars going past and
Yeah,
saying in my head, one day I'm gonna own a fabulous car.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And Makeda, even with that, you're saying that again, but you even had to up here already know that, again, going back to worthiness, that you were worthy of that. Because there's so many people who don't feel like they're worthy of even thinking that.
Yeah.
That's why would you think you should have, a fabulous car, right? But for you to already have that at that point says a lot about your being on your flight.
Mm.
And again, I'm just speaking as as a reader. I think about things like that. But it's like, wow, you know, all of these little things help to have made you who you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your hope then for our audience as they think about what you were able to manifest when it comes to a car? What do you want them to think about when it comes to their own lives, Makita?
Well, I think basically in terms of how I close this particular chapter, I want people to be conscious of what they're visioning.
Mm,
What are you thinking about? What are you manifesting in your mind? Where are you focused? Because if you're focusing on, like I said, doom and gloom, then you're going to manifest doom and gloom.
mhm,
So really be conscientious of this process. It's called the visioning process. I think the wording or the process, calling it the visioning process, I actually got that wording from Michael Beckwith, but the actual process is thoughts become things. So you have to really take control of what reality you're creating for yourself because it's you who are creating that reality. It's like it's really not outside of you, it's inside of you. And that
yeah,
sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. And it's like the media will have you focused on everything outside of you when you
mhm,
really should be focused on what's inside of you so that you can create your bubble of your reality and your world. It's
mhm,
almost like taking back your power.
yeah. Makita, when you were just talking just now, I thought about had another thought.
What, Cyrus?
You weren't distracted. You were focused on the vehicle. You were focused on what
Yeah,
you needed. A
yeah,
lot of times we get so distracted we miss out on what we need because we're so
yeah.
focused on other things. And you were by being able to dream that car to stay focused on what you needed to move forward. I just thought about that one.
Well, to that I was gonna say riding 3 buses in the morning and the evening after working all day will focus you. This was back in the what? This was back in the 80s though, so buses like weren't like what riding a bus wasn't like what it is today, but yeah.
That is amazing. Again, everyone, week 4, everyone, from Makeda Smith's book, Flying Over 50 at Any Age. If you have not gotten your copy, you can get it, of course, here on Amazon, the paperback for $9.99, the Kindle edition for $5.99. Makeda, this was good.
It's getting better. I'm getting used to this, Cyrus.
You are a natural. Kojak is back. Hello to you over there on IG. Glad you could be with us. Makeda, let them know how to stay connected with you as well as to find out about the Makeda method.
My hashtags are on the screen. You can find me at Flying Over 50 or at the Makeda Method. Those are both my websites. Mm-hmm. What else did you tell me, Cyrus?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, there you go. So the websites, and then they can find you there.
Yeah, that's the websites. That's the hashtags. You can find me on all social media.
Yeah, and we would love to know in the comment section, what is it that you are manifesting for yourself?
Yes.
What is it you're manifesting? We'd love to know. Make sure you guys put those in the comment section. We'll definitely be checking that out. Makeda, looking forward to next week.
Next week, only how many more episodes to
go? Only 25, Makeda, but who's counting?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you all for joining us for Flying Over 50 at Any Age. Until next week, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon.
Blessings, everybody. Much love.